Good evening, viewers. The Edison mayoral election is due this year. And to give you more information on that, we have Mayor Sam Joshi with us today. Hello, Sam. How are you today? Good to have you again.
Thanks for having me here.
Great. So, straight to questions. It's been good number of years for you. And how has it been? Because you started on a note of unifying.
Yes.
I remember, right? How has that gone?
It's been incredible. I think that what we've been able to accomplish in the last 3 years has just been remarkable in the town. And what I meant by the word unity when I first took office was every single demographic, regardless of your age bracket, your income bracket, or what your background is, your ethnicity, we wanted to make sure that Edison was a wonderful place to live, work, and play, and you felt welcome. And we were able to pretty much achieve that in a number of milestones.
Oh, really? So what exactly have you done? Would you like to tell the viewers that at least one instance of what particularly you have achieved in that?
Sure. Let's start with the local economy. Let's start with your tax dollars. I'm proud to say that we delivered the first property tax cut in a very long time. It was actually over 30 years. The first property tax cut was delivered the previous budget cycle.
So that's putting money back in the citizens' pocket.
Yes. And since then, we've stabilized property taxes. So despite inflation, despite what you see or hear, your property taxes have remained almost flat since the time that I took office 3 years ago.
Oh, that's good.
Yes.
That's good.
And combined with so many additional services, such as with senior citizens, we reinstated the Mr. Fix-It program. The Mr. Fix-It program is specifically a program where senior citizens can call the health line, or Mr. Fix-It, as we call them, and for small labor items.
Small jobs.
For small labor jobs,
Yeah.
such as changing a light bulb or changing the switch, you can call Mr. Fix-It, and instead of paying a couple $100s, Mr. Fix-It from the township will come for senior citizens, change it, fix it at no cost for parts and labor at all.
And no cost for parts also.
No cost. Up to $100, and the seniors can get the benefit of that labor on the spot.
And a number of them have taken advantage of it.
About 3,000 people so far have taken advantage of this, and they love the program. It is a huge hit with senior citizens.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. We also expanded our program for seniors so that people can call to have a bus where a bus will come and pick them up door to door, and they can take them to vital services such as a pharmacy or a grocery store or a doctor's office appointment at no cost.
Wow, that's expensive. So how is this happening? You have cut taxes.
Yes.
And then you're spending more in public service.
We have stabilized the budget. It's exactly what you said. We have stabilized the budget. We have strong ratables coming into town. In fact, we have one of the highest levels of tax ratables coming into town. So our revenue source remains excellent. We have an excellent credit rating, and we've been able to improve our services by making government more efficient.
Great. That's interesting. Though I wanted to know more about unity, but I think you answered it. Quick question. I read that you removed the sole ownership of internet providing in Edison.
Yep.
Why did you think that was important? Of course, I understand why it is, but still, what were your thoughts on it?
We had a monopoly in town. Optimum Altice was a monopoly in town for a very long time, quite frankly, as long as I could remember. And it got to a point where any monopoly that's there, they have no incentive to improve their service or lower their cost. We rolled out the red carpet, and we wanted to make sure that competition came in. I'm glad that we spent about 2 years working behind scenes with Comcast Xfinity, and they did open up. They started rewiring parts of the town or laying their own fiber optic cables, and now residents are actually saving between $50 and $60 per month just by calling and saying, "Hey, I have competition. I may want to leave. Can you lower my cost?" So residents are seeing an actual savings on that
That's good.
with increased services.
So that's even more money in the pockets of the
Yes.
citizens. That's
Yeah.
nice. You have been also braving some storm in the council, and you're standing strong.
Yeah.
I think you're on your way to come back. So how did that happen? A lot of people were saying things, but you have braved it. You stood against it, and now you're here.
So I'm not sure exactly what you're referring to, but I could name a few simple facts.
Good.
There are 2 council members that want to be in my position, and so they use that platform to their advantage. And it seems like everything that they've thrown at myself, the mayor's office, it's people see right through it. People in town realize that they want more positivity, and their negativity doesn't quite stick. So it's not really what the facts are, and if it's not true, it's not going to stick.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm sure it doesn't stick.
Yeah.
Because you seem to be, you seem to be on your way to come back. I'm repeating myself. We hear a lot of it. So, and also, I see that funding has not been a problem. You're getting good amount of donations for your campaign.
Yeah, I'm fortunate that there's a lot of supporters. We have a lot of support within our campaign as it kicks off, and we are well funded, and we'll continue to run a very aggressive campaign, and we'll be forward about running on my record. That's what's most important. You know, when you look back over the last 4 years, I'm confident that my messaging, the message that I want to get across is going to be that I'm running on a record, and we're going to keep it going.
Nice. A quick question on the policing. I think that's one of the things that you have tried to improve.
Yeah.
And you have done some good things. You want to tell us what you've done?
Yes. First, let's start with the fact that we have the highest level of police officers in 18 years as of December 2024. We reached 199 police officers. Highest level of police officers in 18 years. I'm very proud of that. And we want to keep it going. You know, we want to continue to stabilize the budget and keep it going. But
So it's not like you're hogging all the security guys for your own benefit.
No, not at all. You know what?
The city is being protected.
Yeah, it's pretty straightforward. We have 199 police officers. I'm proud of our police officers. We have over an 80% closeout rate with finding burglars and home invasions, and we've supplemented the parts of the town. We've supplemented the town with a lot of technology. We know that an officer cannot be in every single corner of the town. And so what we did was we placed over 100 license plate readers around the whole town. So now we have 199 police officers as well as over 100 license plate readers. And we're going to continue to invest in technology, and we will use this to our advantage. Crime has actually from 23 to 24, crime has decreased by home invasions and burglaries, home invasions by 58%. And on top of all that, something that I'm extremely proud of is when Governor Murphy came to Edison Township, came to the building that we work in, built my office, and he signed the statewide crime bill that stiffened the penalties for burglars and home invasions, because that was a bill that I was very vocally supporting. And I was, quite frankly, the one that championed that bill. And the Attorney General and the Governor also recognized that I led the charge on that.
And the fallout is for all of us to see.
Yeah.
Because it has really reduced crime, you think, in Edison?
The whole state has benefited from it. And it was almost like overnight. We've seen a drastic decrease in burglaries and home invasions because we actually have penalties that mean something now.
Yep.
It's very clear. That's not to say that we won't have a full look. I want to get to a point where we have zero burglaries and home invasions. I want that. Every resident wants that. But we know that what we do in government is we have to make sure that we are taking on issues that are directly within our control. And that's what we've done. We've supplemented the police department. And I'm also very thankful that for the first time in 16 years, the Edison Police Union, the PBA, has come out openly endorsing me and my candidacy for a second term.
First time. Very important endorsement for you.
Yeah. First time in 16 years.
That's nice.
Yes.
Mayor, warehousing, development for warehousing, acquiring land, developing warehousing is something that you wanted to stop. And I believe you have done something on it.
Yes.
What was the reason for it and how did you achieve it?
We wanted to protect the integrity of our neighborhoods and protect the integrity, look and feel, and quality of life for our homes and residencies. We stopped a warehouse from being developed at Glendale and Silver Lake. We acquired a 10-acre, it's approximately a 10-acre parcel of land right along the river and ensured that that entire neighborhood was protected. And I thought that it was very important to make sure that there was no warehouse there. And in fact, I'm proud to say that so far, we've been very proactive about making sure that warehouses do not get developed on right next to residential areas.
You'd like to sequester them into some corner? Have you earmarked someplace, some zone?
There are different zones.
Because warehouses are important.
Yeah. They're important in the sense that it's important to have a local economy that has different rateable sources, rateable streams, so that we're not completely relying on one source of revenue.
Yes.
However, we have Raritan Center, which is one of the largest revenue sources for us in town. It's all warehousing and industrial. And then there's other spot zones throughout the town that have light industrial as well, or industrial. And we've maintained exactly that. You haven't seen a single zoning approval in town that went against what it was originally zoned for.
And citizens have been appreciating this particular activity, zoning warehouses out of residential areas.
Yes, yes. I think it's important that we maintain the integrity of our neighborhoods. And we did this, like I said, by acquiring a 10-acre piece of property.
Right, right. The other thing that you always speak about, and I have heard some people speaking about it, is getting the roads resurfaced and paved. It's expensive.
Yeah.
And coming back to it, you're cutting dollars, taxes, and you're spending a lot.
Yeah.
But the roads are in good shape.
We have... Look,
I wish Bombay was as good.
It comes down to the basics. What is municipal government doing for you? We have repaved 48 miles worth of road, which is more than any other 3-year period in Edison. 48 miles worth of road is a lot. We're 32 square miles in total, but to repave 48 miles worth of roadway is a lot, and I'm very proud of that.
Right. And these are fresh developments, fresh constructions, or just paving them?
Well, they mill and pave. It's a full mill and pave work.
All right.
And in some areas, actually mostly every area, we have also addressed the drainage along the way. It's a 2-for-1.
Great.
Yeah.
Great, great. That's nice.
Yeah.
Because that is one thing that the residents, especially senior citizens, also require.
Yeah.
Good paved roads.
Yes.
Is there something else you want to add? Because I saw that you insisted your inauguration happen in your own school where you studied.
Yes.
So what was that connection like?
Look, I was born and raised in Edison my whole life. I take a lot of pride in wanting to have become mayor in the municipality that I was born and raised in. This is my town. I'm very
it's a
proud
rare
of it,
feat.
yeah.
Not everybody gets to do that.
I'm very proud of it, but it's also because at the time, it was very symbolic. This was a lifelong goal of mine. It's not a secret. Most people in the community know that I started in government and politics since I was 14 years old, and 21 years later, here I am today. So it's been a very long time, but it's important for also the youth to know that they can get involved in government too and be, successful at it. I tried to teach that to kids every time I get into a school or ever I have an opportunity to speak to youth. And I stress that, look to public service, because no matter what it is when you want to do when you grow up, there's also a civic component to it. There's an area in public service that you may be able to get involved in, and you should try it.
Right.
Yeah.
That's true. I agree.
Yeah.
Your teachers in school when you were young, what do they say when they see you today? People who taught you when you were really small and then you grew up.
It's
Do
it's
you meet
always
them?
strange.
Do you meet them now?
Yeah, I do. It's always, it's wonderful to see them. It's always a big hug, and they look back because they knew since I was a kid I wanted to get into this field, and they were always very supportive.
Never hid
of
your
me.
passion for this.
Never hid my passion. It's it's well known. I've never been shy about it, and I think there's a sense of pride with the teachers too, because when I see a teacher,
I'm sure, yeah.
and they see me now. In fact, when I had my inauguration 3 years ago, I asked my J.P. Stevens principal at that time, who then became the assistant superintendent, to moderate my my ceremony. So it was a strong sense of pride.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And they felt good too about it.
Yes.
Right? No doubt about it.
Yeah.
Your journey has been very interesting. And here you are as mayor, like you said. Everybody has been reading it. 21 years you're here. Next 21 years. What do you think?
Look, I'm trying to get through my re-election cycle and just get through a second term right now. I still have this year remaining, and I look forward to really turning the page on our economy and our economic development in town. I think that that's really important. We have a huge vision for several corridors, including Oak Tree Road, Amboy Avenue, Route 1, Woodbridge Avenue. These are, and Route 27. These are areas that we want to develop in a way where when someone comes to Edison, they know how beautiful this town is, how incredible it is to be a part of this community. And we want that sense of pride, not just if you live here, but also if you shop here or own a
visiting
business here.
through or
Yes.
just touring this place. Nice. There's one question, because this program is also going to be aired in India, in parts of India, and people see it online too. I believe you were the first full-time mayor. Is that right?
No.
Sorry, I really don't know much about it, but please.
Yeah. Mayor Resigliano was a full-time mayor, and Mayor June Choi was also a full-time mayor.
Okay, that were how many terms before you?
Mayor Lenke was a part-time mayor, so he was there for 2 terms. Mayor Sigliano and Choi were there for 1 term each.
Okay. So the reason I asked you is that when you were young, probably they were part-time mayors at that time?
Mayor Spadoro, yes.
And still you felt attracted to serving the community and probably even becoming mayor.
Yes.
So did you envision yourself being a part-time public
No.
servant
No.
or a full-time person?
Full-time, because this is a massive town and it requires the full attention. It's also a very challenging town because it's not like others in the sense that we have a very diverse economy. We have a very diverse population culturally, ethnically. And so the challenges that are brought up within our community are very, very complex. And in order to actively spend time to go after and address them proactively, I believe that someone would have to be a full-time mayor.
Full-time person, yeah, no doubt about it. And I see a lot of celebrations happening every time
Yeah.
in the state. It's probably not something that this country or this state or this community saw maybe 30 years back. You know,
Yeah.
live, bright activity happening
Yeah.
on the street by people from various ethnicities.
Yeah.
So how does that assimilate with the cultures of your town?
It ties into unity. And I wanted, like I said, right from the beginning of this, I said I wanted to make sure that everyone is feeling welcomed in this town. And part of what I do every week, I call different businesses that are in town, a lot of the large corporations that are in town, and I say, hey, we're having this festival or we want to celebrate. For example, I say, we're having the great big Italian-American festival. Would you like to donate? And Cola Vita is a major sponsor, is one of the largest sponsors for that event. Cola Vita is a nationwide, it's actually a company that has their national headquarters right here in Edison. Same thing with Diwali, same thing with Eid. You know, we have a lot of huge corporations that are right here in Edison. And for them, it's simple advertising. For me, it's bringing the community together.
You also took all these festivals to parks,
Yeah.
right? What was the theme? Yes, unity, yes. But was it also to take it away from the residential places and put them in parks so that all this boisterous activity doesn't harm the citizens' piece of peace?
It was really to showcase and celebrate our community. It's to make sure that people are aware that Edison Township recognizes your background and we support you. That's it.
So the multiple cultures
Yes.
are welcome.
Yeah.
And they do what they want, and you support them to do what they want properly. you know,
Exactly.
without being too boisterous on the streets.
Correct.
You think so?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good thing. I wish back in India there were some sort of ideas. These are some sort of ideas that they could learn from you.
Yeah.
You know, having these festivities in parks and open spaces,
Yeah.
rather than right between houses and busy and streets, which could often disturb people.
Yeah.
You know, it's not a great feeling if an old person and you have always been caring about seniors. A senior person wants to sleep, and suddenly there's a firecracker blowing outside his house.
Yep,
It's not going to be a
exactly.
great feeling.
Exactly.
So good you took it out, or rather good you took it into the parks, and I think citizens have appreciated this
Yes.
a lot.
I definitely think they have, just by the sheer attendance of every festival that we have. And like I said, it's all coming. We spend a lot of time soliciting donations and being able to, in a year, making sure that we get, at this point, we've crossed hundreds of thousands of dollars. So it's donations that from corporate sponsors.
Corporate donations substitute for what taxes you have reduced
Exactly.
in some way.
Yeah.
Great. And that's a good way to fund it,
Exactly.
because it's all public service, right?
It's a very simple. It's a tax write-off for the corporation. It's a celebration for the town, and it's mutually beneficial. And the
Yes.
corporation also gets their advertisement.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the people are happy.
Yeah.
People are really happy
Yeah.
with this.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Mayor Sam.
Thank you.
And we are glad we could speak so much. I hope before or as we go in towards elections, we can meet again.
Yes, thank you
Great
very
to
much.
meet you.
Thank you.
you.